As an agricultural researcher, I have to keep in mind not only producer viability, in which case kiwiberry is a very promising crop because it's a high-value horticultural crop, but I have to think too about long-term climate change, because agriculture is an agent in that change, but also long-term resilience in the face of climate change. And kiwiberries are an exciting crop on all of those fronts. And so my research and the research in my program is trying to address those issues. What would a business plan look like for a grower? Is it a financial risk worth taking? And what would be the long-term payback of things like that? But growers are very interested in it, not just because it's a novel crop and because there does seem to be a big demand for it, but also because the overall production system is very friendly to alley cropping, interspersing other crops within it. During the winter and early spring, when these haven't leafed out yet, we have a lot of sunlight coming down onto the vineyard floor. So you could think of other high-value early season horticultural crops like rhubarb, for example, could potentially grow underneath here. As the canopies leaf out and they start to create shade, you get a matrix of sunny areas and shady areas, and that gives you some options to work with. Potentially, if you were to put some livestock, small livestock underneath it, those shady areas would be of great value. And with that sun and shade, you have this potential of growing a mix of crops between, ranging from, say, nursery crops and wild leeks and mushrooms to things that maybe require a little bit more sunlight. And so that's the next thing we're looking at is not this one crop deployed on its own, which we've already seen is an economically viable enterprise for some growers in this area. But I would like to think a little more broadly about this crop being the centerpiece for a whole cropping system of a palette of different crops or even livestock that could go along with this and really bring a lot of value, intensification of value to a piece of land.